I promise. Let's go. What we're going to do today, see what I'm talking about? We're literally going to go into steps. What we're going to do today is I'm going to teach you how to request new reviews without pissing off the algorithms, right? If you've ever requested reviews for Yelp, Facebook, Google, Houzz, TripAdvisor, whatever platform you're working with, you know that they don't like it when you request reviews on their platforms, which seems counterproductive, right? You think that in order for those sites to be successful, they should have more reviews, but then they encourage you not to request reviews. Seems a little counterproductive or even counterintuitive. I will go into it and I will help you understand why and more importantly, how to do this a little bit better and a little bit cleaner, okay? I'm gonna teach you how to manage and respond to your reviews in a way where you actually monetize reviews. Yes, you heard me say that. We're going to monetize reviews. And for those of you that have never heard that term before, essentially it means we're going to take what people have said about you and find a way to make money off of it. Okay? And then we're going to humble brag on social. Cool. Here we go. What to expect from this conversation and what to expect from this webinar. The information that I'm going to give you is 100% free. Okay? It's my gift to you. As an entrepreneur and as a business owner, I realized many years ago that if you offer what you have to give for free, then you are going to get a lot of people to like you and trust you and therefore spend money with you eventually. So whatever I give you today is absolutely free. There's not going to be like some bait and switch at the end of this webinar where I actually save the best for last, right? Like in order to continue on this webinar, you actually now have to pay $1,422 to get the really juicy stuff. No, I'm giving you the juicy stuff for free. There's not going to be a bait and switch. I do offer a software that you can have a free trial for 30 days if you want to save a lot of time, but I'm going to show you how to save that time yourself as well. Cool? Cool. Who this is for and who this is not for. This slide is actually really important, so please pay attention. This is for you if you understand that social and reviews are important. Maybe you just haven't had the time, but you know they matter. This is for you if you're ready to take action or you're ready to delegate to somebody who is willing to take action, like an office manager or a friend or just someone in your life that cares about the internet and is willing to do some of the heavy lifting off of your hands. And obviously you want to build a strong, loyal customer base. This webinar is for you if you fall into one of these three categories. It is not for you if you are expecting me to show you some loophole or some cheat code. There are no cheat codes and there are no loopholes. Managing your online presence requires work. I don't have a button that I can press to get all of your reviews to show up on all of your sites. And I certainly don't have a button that I could press to remove all of your bad reviews from all of your sites. If that button existed, the whole system would fail, right? It's actually a good thing that button doesn't exist because that's what keeps the system fair. So sorry to disappoint you if you were expecting me to give you a cheat code just because I worked at Yelp for almost 10 years. I wish I had the cheat code. And if I did, I'd probably keep it to myself because then I would be ridiculously rich. So no cheat code, okay? And if you think there's some internet plot against you, right? This is something I used to hear at Yelp all the time. Business owners used to literally lose their minds thinking that there's some madness or some plot or some person sitting in some basement somewhere clicking on buttons, purposefully hiding all of your good reviews and purposefully only showing your bad reviews. There's no such thing. There's no plot. There are ways to increase the likelihood of your good reviews showing, but there's no cheat code and there's no loophole. So if you're the person who was waiting for that, you can actually just click away right now because we're not going to do that. I will show you really good techniques, but I won't show you loopholes because there aren't any. We'll talk a little bit about you as a business owner, and this part is also really important. I'm going to ask you to do a little bit of self-reflection. Yes, I'm giving you a ton of free information today in exchange for you doing a little bit of self-reflection. So I'm going to ask you to just kind of figure out which one of the 4 business quadrants you fall into in terms of what kind of business owner you are. If you are a doesn't agree with this whole like review process out of principle sort of business owner, you're going to have a really, really hard time with this. An example would be maybe you don't think reviews should exist. Maybe you think the whole idea of somebody writing a review online, as opposed to just walking up to you and shaking your hand to tell you did a good job, or on the flip side, if they didn't have a good experience, maybe you think they should just approach you and tell you to your face they didn't have a good experience. And if you don't agree with the principle, right, of writing reviews online, you're gonna have a really, really hard time with this. My personal opinion, right? And I don't always share it, but I will tell you that I do also think people should have the courage to walk up to you and shake your hand if you did a good job, or certainly have the courage to tell you the experience wasn't as good instead of blasting you all over the internet, right? Because internet reviews don't go away. Bad experiences come and go, and eventually they fade. But if somebody had a bad experience and writes about it online, that bad experience is stuck on the internet for the next 20, 30, whatever, how many years. So I'm actually with you in terms of the principle thing, but I found a way to get over it because I care about my brand and my reputation, and I care about income. So if you don't agree with internet reviews, you're gonna have a hard time with this. Maybe you're indifferent, maybe you're aware but inactive, and maybe you're aware but active. But if you don't agree with it, you're gonna have a really hard time. So onwards, here we go. Why all of this should matter to you? The reason this should matter to you is because times have changed. And if you think about what 1992 was like, I feel like that was the last year before we really had internet take over. I think AOL or Prodigy Online, I'm really dating myself here, turned on in either 1993 or 1994, where people started looking for things online, looking for businesses online. But prior to that, imagine it's 1992 and you've got the phone book in your left hand, and just humor me for a second, what did you have in your right hand? The phone, right? You wouldn't have a phone book without having a phone in your right hand. And that's because if you were looking up an electrician, you were going to hire an electrician. If you looked up a plumber, you were going to hire a plumber. If you looked up a Mexican restaurant, you were going to eat at a Mexican restaurant. The intent for the printed phone book was so high that business owners spent $50,000, $60,000 a year just to have a full page cover. Do you guys remember those days? So even though times have changed, the intent is still the same, but there is a huge gap in understanding. I know you guys see a billboard here. I did this on purpose, right? Like, what if people, instead of going to the internet to write 5-star reviews about you, they just bought billboard space in like a major metro? And if someone took billboard space out to let the world that they love your business, would you thank them? I think the answer is yes. Everybody would say, hell yeah, I would thank that person. That's a huge compliment. But for some reason, we don't thank them if they write those reviews online. But what's crazy is that a review online gets seen more than the billboard gets seen. So why aren't we thanking people who wrote us reviews online, but we would thank someone who would take out a billboard, even though the billboard doesn't get as much traffic? Aha. So the numbers, right? And maybe these numbers surprise you, maybe not, but approximately 91% of consumers would rather go to Google or Yelp or any review site over a recommendation from a friend. So 91% of people prefer to go to Google or Yelp to look up business reviews instead of asking friends and family where to go. That's how much people use the internet now. But only 20% of you, the business owners who are watching, are actually engaging on Yelp or Google or Facebook. So that's a 70% gap between your consumers who are looking you up online and you, the business owner, who are actively engaging with the consumer. And I understand that time is an issue. I really, really do. That's why I founded my company, because I understand how much time is an issue. But just because time isn't on your hands doesn't mean that you shouldn't find a way to do it. If it's you, if it's somebody else, you got to find a way to do it, because this is a major broken window. If you've noticed already as you're hearing me speak, you know that I try to tie in real world situations to internet situations, right? The handshake if it was real, the billboard if it was real. And now, if you had a broken window in your establishment, you would fix it like that, right? It would be 2 seconds before you call a window fixing service to come fix the window. But not responding to your reviewers online is the equivalent of not fixing a broken window. Again, I do understand that it requires courage to walk up to you and shake your hand. I get that, but most people just aren't going to do that, and you just have to accept it. On a positive note, to tap into a person who wrote you a 5-star review is probably the fastest way to tap into revenue because these people already love you. So let's do something here. I don't know if you can open a different browser tab, but I want to try the Google test with you. The Google test essentially is looking up your own business name online. So I'll talk a little bit slower here. In a new tab, if you can, start typing in the name of your business and the city. So hypothetically, if you operate, Roberts Plumbing and you work in Phoenix, Arizona, go to Google and type in Roberts Plumbing in Phoenix, Arizona. Do that search. Chances are your business will pass the Google test. And what that means is you're most likely to see your business name at the very top with your website, and then some Google reviews associated with your business name on the right. What Google does is they take their own reviews and they put it on the right menu. Then you'll most likely see reviews from other sites, maybe Facebook, maybe TripAdvisor if you're in the hospitality industry, maybe Avo if you're in the legal industry, or Rate MDs if you're in medical. But most likely you'll see Google, Facebook, Yelp as the 3 most represented sites in terms of the top 5. So if 3 of the top 5 are Google, Facebook, and Yelp reviews, hopefully what you're realizing is that every time one of your own customers is Googling you, instead of just going to your website, they're also seeing Yelp, they're also seeing Facebook, and they're also seeing Google reviews, which means it's hypercritical, like yesterday, to start responding to these and to make sure these profiles look as healthy as possible. Here are some numbers that might shock you though. You didn't know you were signing up for an internet education today, did you? Well, this is what I do. I'm excited to do it. Only about 19% of searches on Google, Facebook, and Yelp are what's known as branded. Branded means the person knew to search for you by name, and 81% are unbranded. So again, as an example, a search for Starbucks is a branded search. What I'm telling Google is I know I want Starbucks, I just don't know where to get it. But an unbranded search would be something like really great cup of coffee in Phoenix. That's an unbranded search. I'm telling Google or Facebook or Yelp that I know what I want, but I just don't know where to get it. You might be surprised to hear that only 19% of these searches are coming from people who know your name and just needed more information, like your phone number or address. 81% don't know who you are, and they're looking for something specific that you sell. So again, Roberts Electrical is a branded search. Great electrician near me is an unbranded search. And Google is acting as a portal to all of these sites. And what a portal means is there are no searches that end on Google. Google is the beginning of all search, but Yelp and Facebook and TripAdvisor, that's where the search ends. Kind of like Google representing the highway and Yelp representing the exit to that highway. So that's why, again, it's just so important to have a really clean looking Yelp page and a clean looking Facebook page, because that's where 81% of these searches are ending. So please take action. All right. So now the first thing we did was the Google test. Second thing we do is we're going to do the voice test. All right. So I got my phone here with me and I'm going to try to do this. But I want you guys to do it with me as well. So if you have your phone, I want you to hold your phone and we're going to ask Siri a question. All right. On purpose. So watch this. What's a great place for a cheeseburger near me?
Here's Here's what I found.
All right, so I'm going to show you the screen here, right? So what Siri does is she's pulling up results from Yelp. Siri pulls up results from Yelp by default. Let's try another one. Let's do it again. I'm looking for a locksmith.
Okay, check it out.
Right? Again, she's pulling up only Yelp results. So here's a big aha moment here. I didn't ask my phone to go to Yelp. I didn't say, hey, go to Yelp and search for this. I just said I need a locksmith. Or I just said, I'm getting blown up. I'm getting questions all over the place. Don't worry, I'm going to get to questions. All right, be patient. I'm very good about answering questions. Back to my point. I didn't tell my phone that I wanted to go to Yelp. I just said, find me a business. And by default, it goes to Yelp. So if you go to Google, you're most likely ending up on Yelp, Facebook, TripAdvisor anyway. If you ask your phone, you're most likely ending up on Yelp anyway. And this is true for Alexa as well. If you have Alexa in your house, you're ending up on Yelp anyway. So what Yelp did is they have an exclusive agreement with Alexa and Siri where local business results are populating from their brand. I know it's a big deal. Some of you like that, some of you hate it. Whether you love it or hate it, it doesn't change the fact that it's happening, and it doesn't change the fact that we need to start responding and claiming these profiles right away. So step one, okay? This is where the instructional part really begins. Step one is claim Facebook, Google My Business, or GMB for short, or Yelp. It's free to do, all right? I'm actually really upset at a lot of these agencies and like reputation management firms that are charging you to claim your free Yelp listing. Please don't ever pay to claim your free Yelp or Facebook or Google My Business listings. They're free. Yeah, it might take a little bit to do it and do it properly, but don't give someone $500 to claim your free listings. That has always rubbed me the wrong way. I feel like a lot of reputation management agencies are ripping you off, and I'm sorry about that. I do business honestly. Back to my point, it's free to claim. So claim Facebook, make sure you have great photos. Claim Google, the same. Hours of operation need to be accurate. Your address, your phone number, it needs to be accurate across the board. It also helps you with SEO as well. So consistency and branding across the board help you with SEO. As long as Google, when they pull up search results and they see the same thing over and over again on all these sites, it helps you get found easier. That's part of the Google algorithm. So once you claim your Yelp listing, what you're going to see is your traffic report from Yelp, which is also free for everybody to see. Advertising on Yelp is paid, but getting access to their data is free. So do it, because it costs you nothing except for a few minutes of your time. But what a lot of you don't understand is what you're actually seeing when you're logged into Yelp. And the same information is offered on Facebook and Google. So it's not just Yelp that offers this. All three of these sites gives you access to the data. On my platform, TheOneDash, yes, you get access to all the data at once. Shameless plug, all right? But what you're seeing here, see this number, 3,379? That's the amount of views this particular business has achieved over the course of the last 12 months. A single view is really simple. It's someone that did a search. In this particular case, this business is a gym. So, kind of like 5 steps a person had to do. They had to go to Yelp on purpose, right? It wasn't like an accident. You don't like stumble and end up on Yelp today. Had to go to Yelp on purpose. They had to say, I live in Scottsdale, Arizona. Otherwise, Yelp doesn't let you search for anything. They had to say, I'm looking for a personal trainer or a gym. Again, Yelp makes you do these searches. Otherwise, they won't show you results. So step 1, go to Yelp. Step 2, enter a location to let them know where you are. Step 3, say I need a personal trainer. Step 4, Yelp will show you a list of results in search order. And in step 5, you click on one of these listings. So when you see 3,779 here, one of those was somebody who went through all of those 5 steps on purpose. This business has 379. When you log into your Yelp listing, you might have fewer or you might have more, but every single one of these people was a lead. right? One of the hardest things we're always trying to figure out in our business is how do we capture leads? How do we get people who are interested in what we do to find us, right? Well, there are thousands of people who are already viewing you on Yelp and Google My Business and Facebook, and they want to do business with you. Otherwise, they wouldn't have clicked on your profiles. But if they click on your profiles and they see a misrepresentation of you, or even bad photos or blurry photos, then nobody has the patience to just like still hang around and see if you have better photos. The moment they see a bad photo, they're gone. The moment they see a bad phone number, they're gone. The moment they see bad address, they're gone. So it's free for you to claim an update, and it's kind of like a huge deterrent to not update it. So that's a negative. But a positive is if you have clean photos, accurate information, really healthy descriptions, then you're taking a lot of these people and you're going to convert them into phone calls and directions and actual business. So it's the easiest place to lose business, also the easiest place to gain business if you just take a few minutes and just make sure it looks clean. All right, onwards. On the topic of branding, right? You can tell I care about this very much. Again, it's free for you to upload photos to your sites. We recently ran a survey. We asked a few thousand people actually to let us know which one of these places, if they were looking for a brunch spot, which one of these places for a great place to eat and drink, how would you rank it in order from first to last? And I mean, to me, the choice is pretty obvious, right? I don't know about you, but here are the results, right? So, okay, here we go. We got 3,266 survey responses. I imagine you answered this the exact same way. Most people chose this business right here as option one. Most people chose this business right here as the last one. All right, so here's where things are going to get funny and a little scary. What if I told you they're all the same business? So all four of these photos are the same business, but this photo right here, right, option number 4, was a photo from their website, which they care very much about. So this business cares very much about the appearance on their website, but this photo right here was on their Google My Business page. So people who went to their website had a really healthy experience, right, and saw the best version of them, but people who went to their Google My Business page are eating somewhere else today. And that's because this business owner didn't take time to upload quality photos to Google like they did to their website. The irony here is that probably more people are going to their Google reviews and their Google Maps listing, and I mean like 1,000 to 1 in terms of people going to their Google listing as opposed to people going to their website. But you spend more time on your website than you do on your Google listing. Define irony, right? Hopefully I'm making a case for spending more time on the sites that matter, right? I'm not saying your website doesn't matter. I'm just saying your website isn't getting as much traffic as Google, Facebook, and Yelp. So devote more of your time there. All right. I'm gonna take a little backward step here. I will address the elephant in the room, right? People ask me every single day, before I founded TheOneDash, about what was life like at Yelp. What were some of the algorithms? What were some of the pain points? And I've heard it all. And I will tell you that, Yelp hands down is the most strict of all the sites in terms of allowing you to have your reviews stick. And it will cause the most frustration as a result, because you have a better chance of getting your reviews to stick on Google than you do on Yelp. That's a fact. Here's another fact. Most of the reviews on Google and Facebook have a higher ranking than the ones on Yelp. And again, this isn't like, I don't want to shoot myself in the foot here, but I read a great article on Forbes the other day where the average rating on Google and Facebook is approximately 4.2 and the average rating on Yelp is approximately 3.7. So what does that tell you? Yelp is very strict, very, very strict. But because Yelp is popping up on your mobile device every time you do a voice search, Yelp might be the most important of all of them, because Everybody's got one of these in their pocket, and every time they do a voice search is going to Yelp. So, you probably hate that you have to play this game, but you have to play this game. So, do I have a cheat code on how to get your reviews to stick on Yelp? No, but I do have some best practices, okay? Starting with the pitfalls. Number one, right? The elephant in the room. That's my graphics here. Stop mass reviewing, okay? And when I say mass reviewing, it's like, don't send a mass email to 100,000 people asking them all to review you on the same day. That's a mistake. Yelp's gonna catch that, and they're gonna take off all your reviews, and they're gonna put those reviews in the non-recommended section, because that's what any company would do. That's what I would do, right? So don't ask for mass reviews. Don't have like an iPad or some sort of device in your office where you encourage people to leave reviews before they leave. Something like, hey, how's your experience? Write us a 5-star review before you leave. It's coming from the same IP address. All the review sites are going to catch that. Don't tempt people with offers, right? I think the other day I saw an offer on Craigslist for a business. In exchange for 5-star reviews, they'll pay you $20. If Yelp or Facebook or Google catch you doing that, they will put a banner on your page that basically puts you on blast to the entire planet that you are trying to manipulate the system. And that's just not worth $20, okay? So please stop doing that. The other thing you shouldn't be doing is you shouldn't combat negativity publicly. A wise man once said, don't argue with fools because people from afar can't tell who is who. I think Jay-Z said that actually. So all jokes aside, even if somebody wrote you a really nasty review, the last thing you want to do is go into a back and forth headbutting debate with them on the internet. Your customers don't care who started the fight or who ended the fight. They just care there's a fight happening, and now they think less of you for being combative, right? Now they're probably thinking, wow, this person's really combative. I don't know if I want to do business here. I know it makes no sense. It's just the way people operate. So never combat publicly. Take a breather, right? Take a step backwards and maybe wait a day or so, or maybe hire us to respond to reviews on your behalf. We might do a better job because, I've been doing it for a decade. But something you should do is you should set up a check-in offer, right? And sporadic email requests. So I'm going to get into that right now. This is what's called a sporadic email request, also known as a drip campaign. If you've ever heard the term drip campaign, or maybe you haven't, essentially it means not asking for anything at once. It means spreading out your campaigns over the course of a month or two. And what I would do is, instead of asking for 1,000 reviews from your customers all in one day, maybe ask for a few on day 1, a few on day 3, day 7, day 14, and so on and so on. Maybe even spread that out a little bit further. And you can use this template. Again, I'll share it with you. If you guys have been taking notes this whole time, remember, I'm going to be sharing a takeaway with you at the end of this. So you're going to have everything I've been talking about for free. No gimmicks, no catch. I'm not going to ask you to spend $1,000 for the good stuff at the end. This is the good stuff. So I'll share it with you. I'll also share a lot of my other templates with you as well. So if you have some sort of email marketing campaign, MailChimp, whatever you use, again, you can use my software. It's free for 30 days and all of our templates are included, right? Hey, Bob, we're so thankful that you recently visited our business. Please take a moment. It takes 60 seconds to show us some love online. Don't send 1,000 of those in one day. Send a few on day 1, a few on day 3, a few on day 7. You have a better likelihood of getting your reviews to stick. Next, this is a big one, okay? Yelp and Facebook, and Google actually, forgive me, Yelp and Facebook and Google have something called a check-in offer, all right? Essentially, you're saying, I visited this establishment and I'm marking it on my phone. Yelp calls it a check-in offer. Google calls it, I think they call it a guide, right? A loyal guide or something like that. And the idea is you check in, you say, I visited your establishment, and you get some sort of offer from the business, right? Check in here and get 15% off, or you can even offer a hug if you want, right? Just go into your Yelp business owners account or your Google business owners account and offer some sort of incentive for checking in. It's free. It's simple. Offer whatever you want. I've seen some really creative ones out there. I saw somebody's, buy one beer, get the second beer for a penny, or spend $30 and get a free appetizer. Check in here to redeem this offer. Then the people who checked in on their phones, 2 days later, they get an email or a pop-up from Yelp, and it says, hey, how was your experience at whatever business? And now it becomes more organic, right? It's not forced. And Yelp, Google, and Facebook really, really love that it's not forced. They don't want you to force it. They want it to be organic. So check-in offers are a great way to encourage organic reviews. I've seen more success with that than any other method of getting reviews in all my years. Okay, so do this. It'll help you, and it's free. And you can offer whatever you want and have some fun with it. Okay, cool. Next. When responding to reviews, try not to respond to the same, try not to respond to reviews with the same template over and over and over again, right? Google, Facebook, and Yelp, they catch on to this and it pisses off their algorithm, right? They call that spam. So if somebody wrote you a review, and if you're just copy and pasting, thanks for coming in, we appreciate it. Thanks for coming in, we appreciate it. Copy, paste, copy, paste, copy, paste. That's not good business, and it's not gonna make the algorithms happy. What you wanna do is you wanna have a series of templates for different types of reviews. What you're looking at is how my site is structured, right? How TheOneDash is structured. Essentially what we do is we give you 3 templates to choose from for each review score. And then we never use the same template twice, so that we want to help you with your SEO. So what you see here is we have templates written for a 4 or a 5 rating, templates written for a 1 or a 2 rating. We also have HIPAA approved templates for the medical world. We have approved templates for the legal world, the financial world. So we've done this for a really long time and we know what we're doing. I'm going to give you my templates for free also, by the way. Don't worry, all right? But the idea is never copy and paste the same template over and over and over again, because the sites are going to recognize that you're just spamming them. That's not going to help you with your SEO. Got to get creative here, and you got to use different templates for different review responses, okay? We're almost done, by the way, all right? Cool, thanks for sticking around. So what happens when the review is clearly malicious, right? I pulled this review from one of my clients, right? And I'm telling you, I'm a human being. If somebody wrote this review about my business, I can't promise that I wouldn't be offended or upset or pissed off. I would be, but the idea is never to combat it publicly. This is clearly malicious, right? This gym sucks. Josh, whoever Josh is the worst, right? There's no rhyme or reason to this review. The person who wrote it, all right, let's call them what they are. They are an internet troll, okay? And they can't help it. But what you don't know, and what most of you don't realize, is that the people who wrote this review, it's actually a very, very deep cry for help. They want you to respond. They are actually encouraging you to respond. And what's crazy is that according to a Forbes article, 70% of people who wrote you a 1-star review are really, really interested in revisiting your business as long as you respond to them. Okay, let me say that again. 70% of people who write 1-star reviews are willing to revisit your establishment if you respond to that 1-star review with some sort of kindness, right? Very, very politically correct. Be polite, be politically correct, be kind, even if you don't want to. I know someone just insulted you and you're thinking, okay, someone just took a jab at me and you want me to be kind to them? Actually, yes, right? And this goes back to the first slide I was talking about like, do you think internet reviews should exist to begin with? And are you, on this whole like principle thing where reviews shouldn't exist and people should have the courage to say how they feel in person? I'm with you. We just don't live in that world. So if you can, respond to the negative reviews as often, if not more often, as you would to the positive reviews, because there's money at the end of it. a person's willing to come back and spend more money with you, even if they had a bad experience. Crazy, but true. And I've seen it a million times, right? Remember my background. I worked at Yelp for almost a decade. I've seen this a million times, all right? So please trust me on this. And then finally, brag. Brag about what you've done. So, the best way to do that is to first ask for reviews, do it in a way that doesn't upset the algorithm, and then get some. Second, respond to those reviews publicly. And then third, take a screenshot of all those reviews with the 5-star rating, your response underneath that 5-star rating, and take a screenshot out of it and post it to LinkedIn and Facebook and Instagram and Twitter, and let the world know how great you are, and start doing that on a consistent basis. What you'll notice that you'll start to get a bigger and bigger following on LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. A following is a very, very good thing. People who like you start telling their friends start telling their friends. It's this beautiful trickle-down ripple effect. And all you got to do is take a screenshot of your 5-star reviews and just post them daily on all of these sites. And yes, TheOneDash lets you do that. But if you've been listening to this whole thing, right, and you're wondering like, okay, Levi, yeah, great advice. Thank you for sharing all this with us. But what you just showed us should essentially take us hours of our lives to accomplish. All right, watch this, and then we'll be done.
All right, this is TheOneDash, the all-in-one reputation management platform. I'm going to give you a demo and let's see what we can do in about a minute. I'm going to use customer voice to request reviews from current and past customers. Let's edit my template. Not a huge fan of this subject line, so I'm going to change it. Got 30 seconds, feels a little bit more compelling. I might get a better click-through rate on that. Let's change the logo to my newest client. This is Crunch Fitness. Really excited to welcome you to the TheOneDash family. Nice logo, by the way. I'm going to proofread this. Looks good. Save. Wonderful. Let's go to my customer list. These are people I've already sent emails to, as you can see. Sent, opened. Looks good. I'm not going to choose 100 lines that I haven't sent an email to yet. Proofread. Love it. Okay, I just sent 100 emails. Let's go to reputation management. Let's click on existing reviews, and I'm going to sort by Facebook without responses. Oh, Ashley, thank you so much. You love Crunch better than you love EOS? We love that too, and we love you, Ashley. Visit us again soon. I just chose a template. I just responded to Ashley's review, and now I'm going to post Ashley's review right in my social marketing platforms on Facebook and Instagram, all with one click. Writing Ashley a nice little letter, and I just posted it. Rock and roll. Let's go.
All right, so there you have it. It's really simple, right? My software allows you to do it. What I just showed you is everything that we talked about today. We condensed down to 60 seconds. Ask for new reviews, respond to existing ones, and then post them and brag on social. And you gotta start thinking about this. And I know I'm sounding very like preachy, and I just love educating business owners on how they can make more money. So I'm very passionate about this. So thanks for bearing with me. Thanks for listening for this whole time. Thanks for you taking the time. Hopefully this is an exercise in really helping you understand not just the importance of these sites, but how to monetize these sites. There's opportunity here. A person who wrote you a 5-star review is not just willing to come back. They're willing to come back and bring 10 of their friends. So why would you ever leave that kind of money on the table? And again, I know it takes time, right? But whether you use my site to do it, which I think you should because it's a free 30-day trial, right? Shameless plug. But whether you use my site to do it, or whether you do it on your own, or whether you just ask someone that works for you to do it, there's no excuse for it to not be done, right? And what used to be a physical handshake in the 80s and 90s has transitioned to a digital handshake in the year 2020. And it's just such an important thing to do right now. Thanks for taking the time. You should really try our platform. At the end of this video, you're gonna have an email sent to you with everything that I promised. Right, I'm a man of my word. I'm gonna send you a checklist of everything I showed you today so you can do it on your own. I believe in teaching you how to fish, not just giving you the fish, but use my site. It'll be worth it. All right, enjoy. Thank you very much. See you soon.